So after the girls were old enough to, they're going to school and things like that, you did not enter the workforce in a traditional way when you came back.
Yeah.
You, I think you've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, even though you worked corporate before. And 12 years ago, 11 years ago, 11 plus years ago, you were given a gift by my dad, and talk about what that gift was and how it led to your new career at that point.
So it was always really important to me to have our family photos taken. That was just always a priority to have our family captured as the years went by. And I was just fascinated by, how did they do that? How does she capture that? What are her settings? How does she make that magic happen?
And you had no photography.
No photography experience at all. And so your dad gave me a nice camera, and I was like, well, I think maybe I should try to learn how to use this. And I took a class down in Mill Creek it was like a City of
like
Mill Creek Public.
Yeah,
it was like it was through the Parks and Rec, and they had like an intro to photography class. And so I took that class, and I think I put a little thing out there on Facebook. Hey, does anybody want to help me build my portfolio? No charge, just kind of an intro offer. And a bunch of people said yes. And they said, you should do this. You're really good at it. And I said, really? I don't know. Okay. So I just kind of literally started doing it out of nowhere. And that was 11 years ago. Here we are.
And you found a way to build your own website.
Yeah.
You have figured out how to do transactions on your own. You figured out how to do all of these things. So that entrepreneurial spirit so 12 years ago, we're 35 years old. 37 years old. 37 years old.
Hey, you should know better.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's fine. We both turn 50 next year too. 37 years old, you literally took a giant leap of faith to follow something that you knew nothing about.
Yep.
And make it into a successful career. And here we are, 11 plus years later, and it is a successful career for you. You have, you schedule your year out in the beginning of the year. You offer dates, and those dates get filled. And every year at this time of year, you say, I shouldn't have opened so many dates. Can you relate?
Yeah.
Jay's also a photographer.
Yeah, burnout can be real.
And so, just like I talked to about with Mariah, and Jay and I were talking about this, how there's things that we do in our business that we can't let go of. What's the most time-consuming part of your job as a photographer that some people might not know?
Oh, I mean, editing. And that's something that I can absolutely outsource. And I've been told so many times to outsource it, and I've tried, and I just can't let go of it because it's part of the creative process, and it has to have my touch on it. It all, for me personally, I'm sure I could grow exponentially if I decided to outsource lots of things, but I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to keep it personal. I want to keep that personal touch with my clients, and I want to keep my personal touch on every little thing that I do. And I'm happy with that. You and
I have the same struggle.
Yeah.
We both want to hold on to all.
I mean, it's a bit of a control thing too, but nobody's going to care as much as we do,
I have much respect for that, because your photography and my photography is slightly different, right? You're doing something for families that has lasting impression.
Right.
And you're going to take pictures a certain way where you know how it should be edited, right?
Right.
Real estate,
your pictures are
like
for 30 days. Yep.
At tops.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, it is not worth me spending 7 minutes an image. It's way better to outsource, and they all
never thought about
come
that.
back the same way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine.
I never thought about
But
that.
if I was taking a picture of a person or doing sessions for portrait, like, I would edit those myself as well.
Yeah.
I actually have problems with portrait photographers outsourcing edits.
You do?
Because unless it's like an in-house team.
Yeah.
But
right.
When people say outsource, it's like go overseas because they're cheaper.
Right.
That doesn't.
It just doesn't have that personal touch that I want to keep on it. So
yeah. And so here we are, 11 plus years later. You're doing it. You're still loving it. You've got at least a couple of families that you have shot almost every year.
Yes.
Almost every year for 11 years. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat.
It's pretty cool.
It's this opportunity that you get to be, you're invited into somebody's life for a day. And it's a really neat opportunity for you to build relationships.
Yes.
People keep coming back. You have families that you've been shooting for a long time that now you're shooting their kids' senior portraits.
Yes.
And that's cool. You know, our kids
It's
were
special.
really young when you started, and you got to do both of their senior portraits, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
You also do another business, Monate. It's a hair and skin beauty product kind of thing. And you joined into that actually the same time you stopped drinking, October of 18.
Yes.
And you did that because you felt like you were missing out on what?
That community. It is a little bit lonely as a photographer. I try to build as much community as possible with other local photographers, but I mean, to be perfectly honest, they're pretty to themselves. And so I watched you.
Threatened.
What's that?
It's the strangest thing.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they feel threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Which to me, there's plenty of business to go around for everybody.
It's like, why can't we help each other instead of saying, "Oh, I'm afraid you're gonna steal my client."
Right. It's like your client is, if they're going to be going, they're going, you know.
Regardless.
Exactly. So I just, you know, I saw you doing real estate and developing a new community of people. And I thought, I kind of would like to do something like that too. And I loved the products. I was already using these products. It's a direct sales company, which I know that can get a really bad reputation, but I think it depends on the people that are representing it. And so that's why I try to have all the integrity that I possibly can when doing this business. And I've tried to kind of break that stigma a little bit while I've been doing it. And I've absolutely loved it. I've built that community with people. I've learned new things. It's been another creative outlet business for me. I think I'm just kind of a creative person. It's been another way to, you know, be creative. And, you know, if I'm getting, a little overwhelmed with photography or a little bit, you know, not tired, but just wanting something a little fresh to do. It's fun to be able to go kind of bounce back and forth between the two businesses. I've enjoyed that.
Well, and I think there's rewards. There's actual tangible rewards for you in this other business,
right?
Where you get to go on trips to here, and you get you earned a car. There's tangible things that are.
Yeah.
You won a car?
Yeah, I earned a car. I earned a Cadillac.
She didn't win it. She earned it. Yeah.
Literally a Cadillac?
Yeah.
Not steak knives?
No.
It's a white Cadillac.
No, it's out in the garage.
Love it.
And so the rewards are far different with each of your businesses. You know, they both have served you and our family well financially, and they give you very different outlets.
Right.
And one of them is very local. The other one is mostly local, but it can be, you have people on your team that are in other states,
right.
For Monate. But the photography is generally pretty local. You've been hired to go out of town a couple of times to take photos and things like that, which is pretty cool. But
yeah, it's been both of them are a huge blessing. And really it's all about just connecting with people and being connected and making people feel special and cared for. And I mean, really that's what it's all about.